Okay, so what I did here is I took the input from user and I checked whether it is odd or even, and whatever the state expression is here, if it returns true, the block of code that is inside it gets executed. It can be something more complex, we'll see, and if it is something, if it passes on to the next thing. If here it was not true, it will go to this and it will print, it will execute this block of code which is in the else part. Now we'll see something more complicated. So uh, let me think of an example. If else and if elif and if else elif. Let's take the number from the user again. We'll work with numbers. Input, enter a number. Okay, so in this case we want to check if the number is in between 100 and 1000 or more or less than 100 or 1000. Okay, so what this is a simple example, but here we'll be executing if else elif. So we are taking a number from the user and we want to check if it is between 100 or 1000 or it is less than 100 or greater than 1000. Yeah, more or less than 100 or 1000. Okay, so I'll write if number less than 100 will print out number is, oh sorry, number is greater, sorry, less than, is less than 100. I'm just showing you the syntax here, because it is important to get to start with basic syntax so that we can do more questions. We can write more programs. I'm just introducing the basic syntax, and we'll build up on it. If the number is greater than 100, and I will show you what do we mean here. This is the AND operator, and number less than 1000 will print number is between 100 and 1000. Else we know now there is only one case, number is greater than 1000. Okay, so again when I run this cell, if I put 1100, it will show me number is greater than 1000. So this and if I put number like -3, it will show you number is less than 100. And for the same, if I put 666 in this case, number is between 100 and 1000. So this is how if else conditional condition, like if else statements are written in Python. And what is and does this? And does this? This is the and operator. What is it? It will return, this whole statement will return true when both of these statements are true. Like you know the and logic gate. This is something like that. This is that. This is that. This is that. This is the same logic and logic. If the number is greater than 100, this will return 1. As we saw here, these expressions return true or false. I'm saying 1, 1, 0, binary, true or false. The same. It's the same thing. Now, if number is greater than 100, this will return true. In our case, 666. In case of 666, and if this also returns true, number is less than 1000, because in the first case when I wrote 1100, the number is greater than 1000. What is happening here? It is the number is coming here and it is comparing, is 1100 less than 100? It's not, so this returns false. This block of code will not be executed. Then it comes here, it is showing that it is comparing, is 1100 greater than 100? Definitely it is. So here it is 1. But now there is a AND operator and there is another statement that we need to compare. So here right now it is 1. It is returning true. And now it will go, is number less than 1000? But in this case our number is 1100, which is not less than 1000. And you know, this will return false. And operator for and gate, if you don't remember, 0 0 is equal to 0, 0 1 is equal to 0, 1 0 is equal to 0. This is like AND logic. This is AND logic. Okay. So for this to be true, for wait, for this to be true, for this statement to get executed, both of these need to be true. And this is how you like. I'm for saying a lot of things about this because later on when there will be a huge statement, I don't want you guys to get confused. If you have any doubts, you can ask now. We'll be doing more programs, and I'll try to make it more interactive. But right now I'm just introducing the syntax because there are people on various levels. Just bear with me for now, and yeah, things will get better here. Is there anything you did not understand in this case? Just let me know if there is something that you did not understand.
No, sir, everything is clear. Everything is clear, sir.
Okay. Anybody else who didn't understand anything? Yeah, okay. And again, I'll say it again. You guys can ask questions. There is no ill in asking questions. Like I am here to answer questions. There are a lot of great resources online, by the way. And the only reason you should take this workshop is because you can ask questions here, and you should avail that opportunity, I would say, because there are a lot of great resources online. Those people know way more than me, and their content may be more very good than what I am teaching. But in this case, you should ask questions. That should be your main goal. If you are attending this workshop, okay, we can ask questions, because you cannot ask questions on a YouTube videos or any other resource. You can even PM me if you don't feel like asking directly on the chat or talk using the microphone. Okay, so conditional steps. This is a simple diagram for something that we just did it. For x equal to 5, it compares if it is less than 10. Yes, print smaller. It is comparing between if x is less than 10 or it is greater than 10, something that we just did. And this is just a block diagram. If no, it will compare it to 20, and if it will be bigger, and finally it will, in all cases, it will print finish. Okay, let me show you one thing. And you see these indentations here. You see that whenever I'm writing a conditional statement and then I give this indent is very important. If there is no indent, there will be errors. In other languages, you have seen that there are brackets, uh, there are there are semicolons at the end of the statements, or there may be some curly braces or something like that. In Python, you don't need all those things, but this space is very important. I'll show you what I mean. If I give double tap here, I think this should not work, but let's see. Oh, it is working because, yeah, sorry. Yeah, this is still important. I could not make my point here, but yes, this is very important. Let me show you what I mean. If I give a single extra space here and then I try to print hello, so this will generate a error, indentation error. Okay, so this is not something that that Python accepts. This can be anything. This can be a single space, even if it is a single space. Now I think mm, this can be for double spaces. This can be single space. This can be something like this. Yeah, it is working out. But for a block of code, the indent should be same. I give a four space directly from a tab. You can give single space. You can give two spaces. Keep in mind this thing is very important. Okay. And comparison operators. We just use a comparison operator less than and greater than. Now there are other operators. These are also called Boolean expressions because yeah, it's Boolean logic, true or false, 0, 1, if it is true, if it is false, and combinations of all those things. So less than is represented by less than or equal to, less than or equal to. This is a comparison operator like we use this, equal to. If it is equal to, it will return true. Greater than or equal to is like this, and greater than is greater than symbol, and not equal to is exclamatory mark, equal to, not equal to. Okay, so remember these. You guys were asking for the PDFs. I've already shared the website. All the resources that I'm using here, there it's on the website. They are in PDF form and uh, as a PPT there, so you can download whichever one you like. Okay, so these operators, these are very important. You should remember them, and they are very intuitive. You know, this is something that you use in maths also, except for this one, not equal to. But yeah, this is exclamatory equal to. Okay, comparison operators similar. You can see what we did. X equal to 5, if x equal to 5, if x is equal to 5 right here, if x is equal to 5 right here, so it will print 5 greater than 4, less greater or equal to 5, less than or equal to 5, something. This is just simple logic. And what is happening here is, you can see there is if. Okay, let's see. There are a lot of ifs here. Let's see how this affects the code. Where is the meeting? Okay, so in if else. Okay, I'll give a new example, like x equal to 5. Okay, if x is equal to 5, we want to print x is equal to 5. I will not write more. And then in case of, instead of else, if I write if x is greater than, if x is greater than 2, print x is greater than 2. If x is, let's again say, if x is greater or equal to 5, we'll write print x is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, in this case, when we were writing if else statements, if this block of code was true, if this was true, if I gave a number like 5 and this came out to be true, these two will be printed out. The rest of the code, it will skip all the if else ladder. If there are 50 if else statements, elif statements after this, it will not execute them, it will skip all of them. But if we write it like this, we want, if like this, it will compare it with all the things. Wait, my Jupyter notebook is not responding. Wait, let me restart the kernel. Okay, so I run this. First, it will say x is equal to 5. It will execute all these statements because these are conditional statements, but they are not a single block of conditional statements. Whenever you start if, it is a new block of conditional statements, and it will execute everything for every if statement in this case. So if you want to write in case you just want to make a single comparison, or keep this in mind, this is also useful. I'm not saying that this is not useful. There are a lot of cases where we write if statements like this, but yeah, you should know how the blocks of code will be executed in order to be good at writing programs. Okay, so this is also a possibility, writing if. And to make your programs more robust, you can even skip this else statement. You can write elif. I can write number is number less than 2000. Okay, number is greater than 1000 and less than 2000. Okay, so like this, you can make your program more robust. You don't need to always end it with else. And here you will be saying, oh, what is so robust about it? But right now there is nothing robust about it. But in some cases, when you want to make sure that the data that you are getting, you just won't, because if none of the cases are true, else will be executed. But that is not a good thing every time. You sometimes you just want, I want to handle every situation. I don't want that if some bad thing is happening, or something that I'm not expecting is happening. So you can catch it that way. You can make your program more robust with this thing, like excluding the else statements and thinking about all the possibilities. Here, this is a simple example, less than, greater than. But in some cases, you don't need. All I mean to say is you don't need to else end it with else. It can be just else. Okay, what happened again?
Sir,
Yeah,
can you wait for 5 minutes? We need to take the attendance.
yeah. Okay, 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 cool.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Guys, I have sent an form. Please fill it for the attendance.
The form will be closed in 2 minutes, and yeah, now you will have to do this. You will have to write this program to check if you understood everything that I just. This is almost the same example, but yeah, we'll do better examples later. Definitely, we'll do some better examples later.
So you can continue with the session now.
Okay, thank you. You guys have to write this program now. Right here. Write a program that takes input from a user and prints out if the number is in between 200 and 300. You have 5 minutes, and if you face any problems, just let me know. This is a simple program, 5 or 6 lines. Is somebody already finished writing this program? Is somebody facing a problem? Is anybody facing a problem? Done. Cool. Is anybody facing any problems, or should I continue? Done, done, done. Cool. Cool. Nice. And one more thing, nested if else. There is also something called nested if else, and there are also nested loops, but right now, nested if else.
सर जैसे हेलो सर जैसे सी सी प्लस प्लस में एक सेंटेंस में 3-4 लूप दे देते हैं, वैसे पाइथन में भी हो सकता है।
एक सेंटेंस में, आई डोंट थिंक एक सेंटेंस में होगा वो पाएगा वो, because you need to exclamation markable, you need to go to the next and indent. I don't think it is possible. You said loop, right?
हाँ यस सर।
Yeah, we'll come to loops, but yeah, I don't think it will be possible in the same line, but yes, nested loops are there for with indent. Like when we'll come to that, I'll show you. And okay, so let's say another. number is equal to 5. And now we'll see nested if else how this works. If number is less than 6, if number less than 6, less than 6, okay, we'll write pass else. And this pass, like we saw, this pass means that there is no block of code to be executed, but it will not generate an error. This is something, if you don't want to write anything now, you can just write pass. It will pass if this block of code gets executed. So I can say number is not less than 6. Okay. In this case, yeah, there is pass. So if we write 10, this will print number is less than 6. But now what I want to do is I want to check if the number is equal to 5. Now, nested if number equal to 5 will print number is equal to 5. Else will print number is not equal to 5. Okay, so in this case it is 5, number is equal to 5. So what is happening? This is a nested if else statement. Number is 5, we stored number is 5. First it checks this statement, and yeah, here it returns true. Okay, when it returns true here, this block of code will get executed, and now it will come to this if else part. Okay, and it will compare the number to 5 here. In this case is 5, so this block of code will be executed. Okay, and this will print it here. In case we write 4, so this statement will be executed. Okay, number is not equal to 5, and again if we write 10, so the number is not less than 6. Okay, so this is nested if else. There can be even more nests. There can be 3-4 nests. We can in this, in else statement, we can even write if number is greater than 2, we can write print number is greater than 2 and less than 5. It will be less than 5 in this case. I hope you guys understand how. If you don't, just let me know. Else print number not greater than 2, not greater than 2 and less than 5. It will be less than 5 obviously. Okay, so there can be something like this also. There can be 3 nests. If I write here 3, so number is greater than 2 and less than 5, and number is greater than 2 and number is greater. Wait a minute. It will be always true here. So this will never be executed. No, this will be executed as number is 1. Number is not greater than 2 and it is less than 5, because we are already checking here. First here and then here. First here we are checking number is less than 6, and here if this is not true, then it will be definitely less than 1. Does somebody have a problem with this? Is there someone who didn't understand anything related to this nested if else? There can be 10 more nests, but yeah, that is not something good if you have 10 more nests, because we want our code to be clean. And you see how important the indents are. Everything is working because there are these indents, blocks of code that are differentiated with these indents. So these indents are very important, remember. Okay, I guess there are no questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Like I said, this is one of the benefits of attending this workshop. And to be honest, you'll be spending a lot more time here than you'll be spending on videos. uh, and you should take the most out of it by asking questions. And one more thing, if you need to spend a lot of time if you want to learn program, if you want to learn programming, or you want to learn Python programming, if you already know some else programming language, you will need to spend a lot of time. In this case, you are doing it for a certificate, or you are just doing it on the side, that okay, there was a workshop. Maybe I am a member of SAE and the workshop is free for me, or the workshop doesn't cost much, or let's go and earn a certificate by just sitting. You guys are wasting your time then, because certificates don't mean anything. Maybe they mean something, but not really much. And you will need to spend a lot of time, a lot of time if you want to make your career in software, or data analysis, or machine learning, or data science. This is just a start. You will need to spend a lot of time. There is a long journey that is awaiting you, and that journey, uh, it is not like very cool journey, it is not very easy journey, it is tough. You will need to grind, you will need to sit through sessions. You may not like all the sessions, but when you have to learn, you may not even understand all the concepts, but sometimes you just have to sit, and sometimes you just have to sit and sit through the sessions, absorb some information, and you will. I'm not saying that after this workshop you'll be very good at programming. That is not possible. You'll have to work a lot. You need to work a lot in order to be a good programmer. And it is not always like glamorous. It is not always something very smooth going. If you want to learn, you have to put, like, it is irritable a lot of times. But if you are just thinking, I'll do it something on, it's something that I'm doing on the side, like, okay, I'm just free, I will do this, okay, I'll attend these sessions. Don't do this. If you really want to learn, and you prepare yourself mentally that you need to sit through these hard sessions, you may not understand everything. This is really important. And there is a lot of grind that awaits you. I'll say it again, there is a lot of grind that awaits you in case you want to become a programmer, or not even just programmer, just become good at anything. You have It's not, learning is all not always fun or interesting, but you have to sit through all of this. And I promise, if you like programming, at one time it will get really interesting. It will get really interesting, and you will like to do all of these things, and learning complicated things will get easier. And you also need to make this a habit of learning, sitting through these things. So yeah, all the best. And uh, think about your priorities. If this is your priority and you want to learn, and it's not like you will just do learn 30 minutes, or we'll just, okay, today we'll just go through if else statements, okay, next day functions. What I have personally felt is, if I want to learn, especially programming, I need to do a lot together to make it worthwhile, to get something out of it, to make progress. I cannot do like, okay, today I read about comparison operators, or I just read about if else statements, okay, that's enough for today. I think you should spend some more time, more than some time. So, like, we have a habit of, okay, I'll I'll stop my rant in just a minute. Like, we have this habit of studying for in small intervals. Yeah, that is good. That can be good, but it's not like you spread those intervals over days. Okay, we worked half an hour, okay, let's take 5 minutes break. It depends, also depends on your attention span. We worked for 2 hours, okay, let's take 30 minutes break. But yeah, you need to do it together if you want to learn programming. As I have seen, if you really want to learn programming, uh, do it in a week. It is, develop your interest, get ready mentally, and do it in a week. It is not that complicated. Obviously, you will not be a very good programmer, you will not go to Google or some other company the next week, or even some small company. But yeah, if you sit for a week, everything is fresh, because there are a lot of things that go together in programming. If you The concepts are fresh. If you do one or two sessions this week, and 2 weeks after that, you have forgotten everything that you did before. So you will need to grind, you will need to put in hours, you will need to put a lot of effort to learn. And if you want to become a software developer, there is a long journey, at least a year journey, I would say, if you are working alongside with your studies. It may be even a two-year journey. So yeah, there is a lot to learn, and get ready mentally. And if you cannot do all these things, you find some other interest. I'm not saying that okay, this is everything. You can do anything else also, but yeah, in that case you'll also have to put a lot of effort. So yeah, without effort and grind and these irritating emotions, yeah, there is nothing that can be achieved. Everything requires this. Okay, so I'll end my rant now, and we'll go to the next comparison operators. Okay, what is this one-way decisions? Okay, this is just a if statement, one-way decisions. Yeah, indentation. Like, does anybody have any questions before I go to the next thing? Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, and yes, please ask questions. It is not possible that you don't have any questions. Or
So is indentation that important to cover?
like to cover, I didn't understand. To tell you, but it is definitely important to tell you about the indentation. And this is just like a line of, this is just a page, a single page. What did you mean? Sorry, I think I did not understand what you were trying to say.
I mean, sir, that it's kind of irrelevant to Python or any
Indentation.
language that, yeah, that.
No, it's not irrelevant to Python. It may be irrelevant to C++. It is definitely irrelevant to C++ other than styling, but it is very much relevant to Python.
Okay, that was what I was confused about.
Yeah. No, in C++, you can write a whole block of code in just a single line. Obviously, it will not look good, but yeah, in Python there are some things like indentation is very important. That is how that is how the interpreter knows, okay, this is a block of code just by through the indents. There are no brackets, as you know. So indents is something that is very important. In C++, it is just a styling guideline, but yeah, in Python it is important.
Okay, sir, continue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. Okay, it is saying turn off tabs, so you don't need to turn off tabs. Maybe they will think about beginning. Okay, this is something nested decisions. We did this visualized. Okay, so this is the program right here. We did something like this. X is equal to 4, and it will compare here. If x is greater than 2, it will say yes, bigger. It is x is greater than 2, that is it is bigger, and else it is smaller. This is just we covered all of this. Try except I'll come to this. Try except you can handle errors. I will come to this later. CPU try except sample. Okay, sample. Cool. Let me go to the next slide. I will come to try and except later. Conditionals functions. Okay. Next important thing. Won't save. Okay, so what is a function? Function is something, it's a piece of code that we can reuse. Okay, let me tell you what is meant by reuse. Cell type markdown. Functions. Okay. Function is a piece of code that you can reuse. It makes your life easier. Function. So piece of reusable code. We'll write something reusable, don't worry. Okay. Okay, so how do we write functions? We'll write a function and is even. Okay, and we'll give a number. Okay, So we want to write a function that checks if the given number is even or not. Okay. Let's do this. So how you define functions? You just write def, and this is the name of the function, and in brackets there are the attributes or the things that the function handles. So in this case, we want to make a function to see if the number is even or not. So now we have a number. We don't need to define the number yet. We'll just say if a number %2 is equal to 0, we'll print out the number is even, else number is print the number is false. Okay, so this function is not returning anything. I'll show you what return means. But yes, this function is not returning anything. We just I wrote this function. Now when I enter the number, this can be n. I'll write just x. Okay, x equal to 3. Okay, so this x is not even. Now we want to say if this number is even, so we'll call the function is even 3. So I will call this function that we just wrote, and it will take this number. Oh, it does not have to take, it will take 3. Okay, so we'll pass in this, and when I run this, we know that x equal to 3 is false, so it will print out the number is false. Okay, we just wrote the logic here, and now if we put 4 here, the number is even. So you can see, once I wrote this, I can use it at a number of times. I can use it anywhere I want. Now if I want to check, like if I am doing something else and I need to check if the number is even, like I can use it anytime. Let me show you one other thing. This function returns nothing. This function returns nothing, but a function can return something. Now functions can, I'll show you what I mean by this, and then I will show you something else. Okay, functions can return different data types. Okay, so let us do this is even, but with a different is. I'll name the function is even bool. Okay, in this case I will return something that is boolean. You can name this anything. You can name it your name. It can be your name. This function could have been named Ibad, but that would not make sense. Like I said, mnemonic names. And we're this colon, after this colon there is an indentation. This indentation is important. Whatever is in this indentation, it is part of the function. Now what I will do is, if number, it is the same as above. If number %2 is equal to 0, now I can return true. Okay, in this case I am not printing out anything. In this case I am not printing out anything else. Return false. Okay, so when I call this function now, and again I'll write y, and you saw this thing right here. This when I wrote number here, and the number is being compared in the rest of the places, and here when I give x, I do not write number, so it does not matter whatever variable name is. So it can be x, it can be ibad, it can be y, it can be anything. It can even be number. It can even be number. Like here I'll use number, but yeah, it doesn't matter what is written here. You just need to know that there is an argument. There is a single argument. Number is equal to, in this case I'll write true, and I'll show you is even bool. When I write number here, in this case it should return true. Okay, so it returns true. You just saw that it returns true. Okay, and like this, it would not have print in. If we were using some other ID, it would not print. We will have to write something like this. So keep it in mind. Jupyter notebook में in Jupyter Notebook, it if it is on the last line of the output, it prints it. Okay, I'll keep it like this. Okay, so it is returning true or false. Okay, and you will see, you would think, okay, how is it this useful? Okay, let's write a if else statement. Okay, let's write a if else statement. Again, we'll be working with true, even and odd. Okay, we'll be still we're working with y is equal to 10. I want to check if uh, I want to check if the remainder is 0. This program does not make much sense, but yeah, this is enough for the syntax. The, the remainder is 0 or not. This program is not that sensible, but yeah, I'm just showing you here the syntax. So y is if I don't want to write this thing if y%2 is equal to 0. I can do something like this. Here we will say that it is of the same length, but yeah, this is just an explanation. If y, okay, is if even is bool, this will return true, this will get executed. Wait, I will print the remainder is 0. We are dividing by 2. Yeah, this is not a very good example, but this should get the job done. If you are confused, just let me know. The remainder is not 0. This is a stupid example. Okay, so when I return this, here it is 10. This will return that this is even. So we are dividing it by 2. So the remainder will be 0. Okay. So this is how you can use functions. This is a very simple. You could have just written number equal to 0, but yeah, I just needed to show you how this works. Do you have any questions related to this? Does anybody have any question related to function, or don't tell me you don't have questions? Okay, now you guys will write a program. Wait, you guys write a program. Like before that. Okay, sum. We'll write a sum function, but sum is already taken. So we'll write addition. Addition. We'll take number 1. There can be multiple arguments that this is what I want to say. So this can sum addition is equal to num1 plus num2. Return addition. Okay. So x is equal to 5. Y is equal to 9. Now we want to do addition x comma y, and we need to print this because this is returning something. This is not printing it in itself. Okay, so the sum is 14. As you can see, 9 plus 5 is equal to 14. So now is this clear? Is this clear? Is this return clear? Is there something you don't
Yes, sir.
Is there something you don't understand? कोई है, you can PM, DM, you can do anything. Please ask questions. After this, we'll go to for loops and data structures. Then things will become a little more complex. So you should ask any questions if you have.
रिटर्न एडिशन लिखना जरूरी है, उसकी जगह हम प्रिंट एडिशन नहीं कर सकते?
Yes, you can print addition. Definitely, you can print addition. You can even do both these things. You can print addition. You can do both these things. Yes, definitely. Yeah, 14, 14. This 14 is because ये यहाँ पे print कर रहा है खुद को फिर से 14, 14. You can even neither return anything or nor neither return anything nor print anything, but that will not make sense.
इसमें रिटर्न का वही सी प्लस प्लस वाला लॉजिक है क्या? रिटर्न जीरो यानी वार्निंग्स हटाने के लिए होता है।
Sorry, I did not understand what क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
जैसे सी प्लस प्लस में हम रिटर्न जीरो लिखते हैं, वैसे ही इसमें भी वही काम करता है, रिटर्न जीरो।
Oh, okay. No, 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 no. In C++, because in C++, okay, this is outside Python question, but I'll still answer. In C++, whenever we write integer, int main, right? We write int main, and it is very important in C++. It is very important in C++ to write the type of function. Is it a void function? It is an integer function. It is a float function. What the function will return? So in the main function of C++ is int main. So we return at the end 0. Uh, it is not even needed now. I think it was a very necessary thing before, but I don't think it is even needed now. At the end of the main function, we return 0. But this is something very different. And here in C++, whenever you define other than void, you need to return something. You need to return data of that type. But yeah, this is not something. This is not what is in C++. This is something that you will need to work with. Like if you want to return the sum, okay, let me show you. If you want to return the sum and work with it, sum1, okay, sum1, I can do addition. Okay, this is a good question. Okay, sum1, I can store this sum in something in this variable, and then I can use this sum if I can use this sum variable somewhere else. If sum1 is greater than 10, print out, print sum1 is greater than 10. Okay, greater than 10. In this case it is, so it will print sum is greater than 10. In case I make this 1 and I run this and I run this, it will not print anything because I did not take care of the rest of the cases. Okay. So you can store whenever you return this value. Okay, this was my mistake. Whenever you return something, it is, you can store that value. In this case, the function is not returning anything. In this case, where is that function which is not returning anything? Okay, I changed the function itself. So in the if this was a function that is not returning anything, and I do something like this is not returning anything, so it will say that it is returning none. Okay, but yeah, in this case it is returning addition. Does anybody else have any questions related to function? Okay, I'll give you now a question that if you guys should do cell type.
सेम प्रोग्राम में सर मेरा एरर आ रहा है। हेलो सर।
हाँ बताओ क्या।
सर ये सेम प्रोग्राम मैंने रन किया है एनाकोंडा नेविगेटर जुपिटर नोटबुक में, तो मेरा एरर दिखा रहा है।
एक बार फोटो भेजना, क्लियर नहीं है तुम्हारी वीडियो क्वालिटी।
ओके सर।
एक बार फोटो मेरे व्हाट्सएप पे भेजो, क्वालिटी नहीं है। Okay, so write a function. Write a function. It can be called raised. Okay, it can be called raised, which takes two numbers, number one, number two, and it should return number one raised to power number two. Okay, like if I write this function 2 raised to power 2, so the answer should be 4. Okay, so write this function and let me know if you are facing some problem, or if you are able to write this function. Let me check this guy's code. Write this function. Okay, and make sure it should return the first number, and then you also have to print it out. Has somebody finished? And someone who just asked me that they are getting an error. You didn't send me the photo, or was your error corrected? Okay. Is there someone who's facing any problem?
So in the previous program, I have a problem. Sir.
Yeah. Just you can show me, or you can you can show me, or you can send me a pic.
Sir, can I present that screen?
Sorry?
Sir, can I present that screen?
Yeah. You can. Okay. I cannot see your screen. Hello. Hello. You said that you wanted to share your screen, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yes, sir. Wait.
Okay. Do it a little faster. Other guys are waiting. People. People. Is there someone who's facing any problem writing this program? Is there someone who's facing any problem writing this program? Or ho gaya? Or if you want me to write the solution, you should write on the chat. Otherwise, I would skip. ADDID. Yeah, you didn't run the cell. You didn't run the above cell. The function where you wrote the function, you did not write. Yeah, you do not run that cell. Def एडिशन है ना, उस सेल को रन करो शिफ्ट एंटर से, जिसमें फंक्शन डिफाइन किया, या रन दैट सेल विद शिफ्ट एंटर. क्लिक ऑन इट एंड प्रेस शिफ्ट एंटर.
सर किए से शिफ्ट एंटर नहीं हुआ.
एक बार तुम वापस जाओ. हाँ, सेल पे क्लिक करो, रन करो. रन पे क्लिक करो. Yeah, now run your next block. X equal to 5, y equal to 9 वाला block. Yeah, run this. This will work now. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now it is.
So
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. What was happening was, whenever you write Jupyter, कहीं पे भी code, you need to especially in Jupyter Notebook, you need to run that cell in order for the memory to know that you have written a particular function. Okay. So yeah, that is the problem. I'll share my screen now. Yeah. Okay, so I'll write this function anyway. Okay, so I can also write it in a single line. Num1. I hope this works. I don't want to embarrass myself again. Yeah, so the answer is 4 in this case. You can directly put your arguments in this. Okay, 3 3s are and even 4. Okay, 81. So this is how raised to the power works, and this is a very small. You can even write it.
Sir, why double asterisk sign is used? Sir, we use a single asterisk sign for multiplication, na?
Yeah. The question was that first number to the power of second number. You have to raise to the power symbol. I wrote it right there. And yeah, you had to raise one number to the power of another number.
So Python में ये symbol use होता है raise करने के लिए.
हाँ. जैसे मैटलैब में ये यूज होता है, टिल्डा कहते हैं उसको.
Yes.
तो इसमें ये यूज होता है. आई थिंक C++ में भी ये यूज होता है, टिल्डा शायद. I don't know for sure right now. Okay.
C++ में pow function आता है.
That pow function is also in Python. We are just practicing functions. Python has libraries for everything, even for map data. So we have a math library, maybe we'll see. We have an NumPy library, pandas library, plotting library. Python has everything. That's why Python is so powerful and used everywhere. Python has literally everything. Anything that any other programming language can do, Python can do. So yeah, that's why we're learning Python here. Okay. next things. What is the next thing? Wait. Sorted on this Python function. Okay, max function. String conversions, type conversions, functions, definitions, and uses. Yeah, like I said, once you have defined a function, you can use this. In this case, like we use raised to the power function. Anytime we use, anytime we'll use, sorry, anytime we want to do this operation, we have defined the function here. We can call it n number of times. Okay, so we can reuse the function print lyrics. Okay, so in this case, it is showing that this is a function print lyrics, or I can just say, okay, we did this. Let me write this function one more. Okay, this is a markdown print. Sorry. A function can be something like this with no arguments. You don't need to. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, great. This happened. Print hello. Although this seems very redundant. Hello. Okay. How are you? What's going on? I hope you are enjoying the workshop. It's me being hopeful. Okay. So I don't need to put arguments all the time. If I call this function print hello, there is no arguments, just blank brackets, and this will do something like this. Okay, so this will print. And if you want to hello, how are you? Should be a question mark here. How are you? And if you want this to be written in the next line, what you can do is \n. And when I run this again, you will see that the line will be changed. Okay, so this /n is not being printed. This is just the Python, the interpreter knows that by this we mean that we want to change the line. I think plus there is also this plus /t. Yeah, so there is this tab space. Okay, so this is for line changing, and we can change line here also. And when I run this function, hello, what's going on? I hope you are doing fine. So yeah, this /n in print statement means next line. Okay, /. Okay, does anybody have any question related to function, so that we can do the next thing? If you have any question related to function, you can ask. Yeah, you guys asking questions help me also, because I had forgotten about this thing. And you can find this notebook in the GitHub repository that I shared this morning. Now do we have strings? Okay, so strings are very important in the like I think I said this before also. When we'll be reading books, we'll be using string and string operations. Okay. Parameters, return value, multifunction, return no idea. We covered all this now. We have to do strings. Strings. No, before doing strings, we'll stick with iterations, because we'll iterate over strings also. Okay. Okay, so control flow. Next will be control flow. Okay, so now we'll come to something that is more interested in programming. We'll be studying for loops, while loops. If you have any questions, you can ask up to this point. Now we'll be like for loops and while loops. While loops. Okay. For loops and while loops. Okay, so this is how you write a for loop in Python. Okay, for I in let's say we want to run a for loop 10 times. Okay, so what we'll write it for I in range 10, for I in range. I is iteration variable. Okay, we'll see. We'll work with a lot of for loops. Don't worry. Print I. Okay, or we can say print from 0 to 9. Okay, so this is the function. So what range does is it starts with 0 whenever we the range function. This is the inbuilt function in Python. So the what range does is range 10. What it means is means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. So whatever you write in range, this number is excluding. Range starts from 0. Range starts from 0 and ends before the number. Okay, enter. Okay, so when I this is a for loop. When I run this, first I will be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5 up to 9. And if you want to print 10, you will have to write for I in range 11. And if you don't want to print 0, you want to like print 1 to 10. If you want to print from 1 to 10, you can do it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you don't want to take a single increment, wait. Let me do this here. 0 to 10. Okay, this will be something like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you want to do increments of 2, what you can do is, I'm just introducing the syntax here, don't worry. We can write 0 से लेकर 11 तक, and we don't want increments of 1, we want increments of 2. First it will be 0, then 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, then 10. You can even do increments of 0.2, although it will be, wait, float object cannot be interpreted as wait. And let me see. No, this cannot be done. What?
सर कॉलन साइन यूज होता है ना सर?
नहीं मैटलैब में यूज होता है वो, नॉट इन पाइथन. और
सर मैटलैब तो लाइब्रेरी से डिफाइंड है सर.
क्या
मैटलैब तो शायद पाइथन लाइब्रेरी से डिफाइंड है, मनवल्ला सर ने बताया.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. पाइथन में वो फोर्ट्रान में लिखा हुआ है, एंड इट इज सिमिलर. It is a little similar, but no, there are no colons. That is it. Yeah, we can see maybe. Yeah, no, this is not the correct syntax. Okay, the colon से slicing define होती है. With colons we define slicing. I don't know why that didn't work. Okay, it didn't work. No problem there. I think there must be some other functions. Okay, so the important thing here is that yeah, you can, if you want to run a loop for 10 times. Okay, if you want to run a loop for 10 times, what you write is for I in range 1 to 10. Does anybody have any problem with range function? कोई बात, if there is something that you did not understand related to range function, just let me know. Yeah, you can increments of 2. So this is a simple for loop. We'll be doing interesting things, don't worry. This is the basic syntax.
सर अगर पैटर्न प्रिंट करना जरूरत पड़ा तो C++ कहता है.
पैटर्न प्रिंट करना जरूरत पड़ा तो डिपेंड करता है कौन सा पैटर्न है तुम्हारा, कैसे है. तो yeah, you can definitely do that. Why? जैसे for example, you can print something like this. I'll This is not a pattern per se, but yeah, you can do something like this. You don't need to print this I. You can do this.
वो सर ट्राइंगल पैटर्न एक आता था, ट्राइंगल पैटर्न, वर्टिकल ट्राइंगल,
सर स्टार वो इन्वर्टेड ट्रायंगल.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, you can do that. I will not cover those things. I think those are useless things. But yeah, let me show you. X equal to yeah, this is something that I find very useless. So I will not be teaching of these triangles. So yeah, but you can definitely do them. Okay, like this. Okay, yeah, you don't need to work with. Yeah, this is a simple triangle. You were saying the example of triangle. But yes, I find
और
those things. Yes.
पता नहीं क्यों पेपर में देते थे हमेशा ये
Yeah.
इन्वर्टेड
It
ट्रायंगल
was
ये
in my paper also. I skipped that question. I don't like these questions. These are useless. And पता नहीं paper में दे देते हैं. I don't understand at all. What sense does it make? Yeah. So yes.
our tuition teacher says that it tests the knowledge of the programmer. Test the knowledge of the programmer we are given this question.
I skipped that knowledge. I don't need this knowledge. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
but
a little hard.
it irritates.
Also for me, very hard.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, you can do something like this. You can do. Okay. So, does anybody else have a problem with? Does anybody else have a problem with? Does anybody have a problem with range function or for loop in general? We'll be writing a lot of for loops. We'll be writing for loops in image processing, OpenCV. We'll be writing for loops in. We'll be writing for loops during our final project of this introduction to Python thing, and we'll be. Do you have any problems for for loops? Ka basic syntax samajh aaya? Did you guys understand the basic syntax of for loops?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And even you can do reverse. I think SAE. I don't know, reverse range. I am not sure though. Let's say. Yeah, I will show you. No. Reverse, no. Yeah, this is what you should do always when you forget something. Reverse range Python. Caption for captain's reverse range. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि 10 से 0 करते हैं. Sorry, I forgot. No. Wait. No, it is not doing that.
सर थर्ड एलिमेंट में -1 लगा दे तो क्या होता है?
Third element को -1 लगा दिया. We can see that. Let's see. I don't know.
जब 10 to 0
Yeah, it is not doing anything. I don't know why.
10 to 0 then -1 अगर ये हो सकता है ऐसा.
Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. So yeah, you can do this in reverse order, and you can even print the inverted triangle. Okay, let's print inverted triangle. Okay. Thank you. So yes, so you can do it in reverse also. In reverse, like this. I had forgotten. Reverse range. Okay, so these are for loops. Anything else we can do in for loops? Okay, sum of first 10 numbers. Okay, let's do a program. Sum of first 10 numbers. Okay, so we'll have to write for loop for I in range. 1 to 11 because we need 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. First 10 का sum चाहिए हमें. We need sum of first 10. So sum you can see sum is already a key reserved keyword, and whatever turns green you can see those are all reserved keywords. So this is also a good visual cue for you guys, in case you are you don't need to memorize. Like I said, you don't need to memorize per se the reserved words. So we'll do sum first. We'll define outside the function sum is equal to 0, and then when sum equal to sum plus 1. Okay, and then we'll print sum. Wait, what happened? Okay, sum 1. Oh, what happened? Not 1, I need to write I. Okay, so we all know that sum of the sum of first 1 to 10 is 55. So what I did here is first I initialize the variable. We'll do this a lot. Remember this. First we'll initialize this sum variable equal to 0, and then we'll take using range, we'll take numbers 1 to 10, and then we'll on each iteration we will add to the sum. First it will be 0 plus 1. Okay, first it will be 0 plus 1. Let me show you. Okay. Yeah, this is also one sort of a some sort. Wait. This is how we'll be doing. This is one form of a print statement. Sum, comma, I. Okay. You can visualize now. Oh, sorry. I've forgotten a lot of things. Yeah. So you can see first it is 1 plus 1. Then it is 3 plus 2. Wait, what am I doing? 1 plus 1, 2, 3. Sum, comma, I. 55 plus 10. What is happening? Okay. Yeah, sorry. This will be here before this. Okay, so first it will be 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1, then it will be 1 plus 2, which is equal to 3, then it will be 3 plus 3. So पहले क्या हो रहा है? So yeah, this is one sort of a print statement in which you can use these curly braces and then format to see how the loop is working. I just did it here so to see how the loop is working. So the sum is 55, and you can now visualize क्या हो रहा है. पहले 0 है sum, then I is 1. Okay, first it is sum is 0, I is 1, then sum becomes 1 and I is 2, then 3 4 6 4 10 5. So this is the for loop visualized. Does somebody have a problem with this? We'll move on to strings now, because oh no, we have while loop. Sorry, while loops. Does somebody have a question related to this?
फॉर लूप से फैक्टोरियल कैसे निकालेंगे?
Okay, we'll do the factorial questions definitely. Okay, yeah, let's do for loops factorial. Factorial. Okay, so number, we'll take a number equal to 6. Okay, let's do 10. For I in range number, comma 0. Let me see, I'll have to see for -1, fact equal to 1. We'll have to say fact equal to fact star I, and then we'll print fact. I think this is, maybe this is wrong. Yeah, okay, so this is how we'll do for factorial. Wait, yeah, 6. Okay, cool. This is correct. So these are also some sort of algorithms that you will have to keep in mind. These are not algorithms per se, but yeah, these kind of things are like initializing a variable, then doing something like this. So what is happening? The guy asked, how can we take out a factorial of a number? Okay, so we'll get a number right here. We'll take a number and then we'll start, because factorial ka minimum. What is minimum factorial? It is 1. So intuitively 1 ka factorial 1 and even 0 factorial is 1. Let's see if this works for 0. I'll have to see. Yeah, this works for 0. Perfect. So we know the minimum factorial is 1. So what I did is I used this thing. I used this range. Where is this? Where is the negative range? I used this logic. That first, I want to do the range in reverse. I'll say, like in this case, we have, even if we are talking about 10 factorial. So I use this logic. Let me copy this there. So if we are calculating a factorial of 10, I use this logic. First, it will be 10. As you can see, first it will be 10 multiplied by, then because we are doing a single step of -1, that it would be 9. And first it will be 10 and it will be stored in, it will be multiplied by factorial. Okay. Then we have 10 and it will be fact, it will be multiplied by 9. So it will be in the second iteration. Okay, let's visualize this. I am talking gibberish for, yeah, this needs to be commented out. So first it is 10, because 10 multiplied by 1 is 10. And then after that, the number will be 9. The I will be 9. So the factorial is 10. I is 9. So the next will be 9, 90. And then 90 into 8. 90 into 8, which is 720. Then 720 into 7. And and like this, it will continue up to this place. Okay. Is this clear? We
जी
can make it to a point.
जी भाई.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions related to anything in this?
Sir, like in C++, integers have a range. So does Python variables too have a range? Like in it?
I didn't understand. Python variables have a range. Sorry, I didn't understand.
Like if we, I think, make a factorial in C++ that is greater than 12, so the compiler actually gives a garbage value because it's more than the
Yeah, okay.
maximum value.
Yes, so you are talking about in case we have a very long integer, or you need to define, like we also define long int. So in Python you don't need to do all those things. Python takes care of everything, and Python takes care of everything, even decimals. But where these things are also a drawback of Python. It takes care of a lot of things itself, but it also compromises on performance. Sometimes, if you are talking about very large decimals, Python is not as accurate as C++ or MATLAB. In very, if you are talking about a huge floating point number, or even a float, even a float, even a, yeah, if you are talking about a very large number, Python is not that accurate, but is very accurate. Sorry, don't get me wrong. Python is very accurate, but relative to some other programming languages like C++, this is, Python has a drawback. It is easier to use, but it has some drawbacks. But in our cases, in general, what we use Python for, there is no problem. There is no problem as such. It is for scientific things that Python sometimes causes a problem. That's why C++ is still used in all the hardware and everything, because it's fast. It's really fast. Okay, so this is how we take the factorial. Okay, do one thing. Write a function which takes a number. Cool. Set type mark now. Write a function which takes a number. Takes a number. In this case integer ही होना चाहिए. although we cannot restrict it to integer, but we can do something else later. The name of function should be fact, and it should take a number. Okay, do this and let me know if you have any problems. Write a function which takes the number that will be an integer, and it returns its factorial. Relating performance of Python, it is not very important for software engineering purposes, but if you are working on hardware, if you are working on robotics, real life robots, so still C++ is used on every single thing. Your computer drivers are written in C++, C/C++, because C++ is very efficient. Python is not used for those kind of things. Did somebody finish writing this function? Done. Cool. Is somebody facing any kind of problem writing this function? Is anybody facing any issue? If you are coming from C++, learning C++ to Python, Python is very easy. It will not take you much time to get hold of Python. Whoever has learned C++, they can code very easily in other languages. C++ is the most difficult language. Only two people did this, or rest of you, are you not trying, or you are too tired to try, or you are facing some problems? Let me know.
Sir, I am facing a problem, sir. Again, error syntax error issue.
Yeah, share your screen. Share your screen. share your screen. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So the syntax error is the fact is referenced before assignment. So the problem is, yeah, I didn't tell you guys. Okay, so let me tell you. I forgot about telling you about the scope. Can you stop presenting? Yeah, I forgot to talk about scope. Thank you. Yeah, if you ask questions, it helps me and it in turn helps you. Okay, so now if I let me just say definition. So we'll talk about scope of a variable, scope of a variable. Okay, so there are two scopes. There is a global scope and there is a local scope. Okay, so let's talk about global scope. If x equal to let us assume x equal to 10. Let us define a variable. Let us define a variable that x is equal to 10. So this is something important. Thank you. Thank you for asking this question. I don't know. I forgot. So this is a global variable because it has been defined in the main part of the code. Like it is not inside a function. It is not inside a loop. It is in the main body. Okay. So if I write a function def sum, okay, and I take a number x, okay, and y is equal to 3, okay, y is equal to 3. You will get confused. Let me name this z. Y is equal to 3, y is equal to 3, and return will return z plus y plus x. Okay, and when we call this function, when I call this function sum, I just put this x which I have defined here. I can define when I put this, and when I run this, I hopefully, yeah, it gives a sum of 23. So you can see there are different things that are happening. Wait. I did, for explanation, I did something wrong. Okay, so the sum is 26. Okay, so there are three different things that you have to, there are three different variables. X is equal to 10 is it's a global variable that has been defined outside, and then there is this z equal to 13, that is also a global variable that has to be that has been defined, and we are using this sum function. But in this sum function, what we are doing, we are just passing one variable. As you can see, we are just passing z, and in this case the z, this z is here, we are just passing 13 to it. So in order for this function to work, we need three variables, z, and z we are getting by this, in this case 13, we are defining z and we are passing it on to the function. So z is 13, so yeah, z is taken care of. Y is equal to 3, we need y equal to 3 is defined inside the function. Y equal to 3 is defined inside the function. Okay, so y is taken care of. And this x, it is not defined inside of the function, but it is defined globally. Okay, it is defined globally, so it will automatically take this x equal to 10. Okay, so we have now numbers. These two numbers have global scope. They can be used in the functions. If I write in this case, if I write x equal to 20 inside this, the sum will change. In this case, it will take x equal to 20. As if I delete this, there is no local variable x. There is no local variable x. Okay, there is no local variable x, so it will source it from global memory. It will use the variable x that is defined in global space. Okay, And if I have defined y equal to 3 inside this function. If I try to print y, I hope I have not defined y is 3. Yeah, it is showing me. Wait, I have defined the y somewhere else. That is why it is showing y equal to 1. Print now pqr. If I did pqr, pqr, it will show that the name pqr is not defined because the scope of this variable is just inside the function. Okay, so this variable that I have defined inside the function, it will be just defined in, it will be just valid inside the function. I cannot use it somewhere else. Okay, so this is the difference between global scope and local scope. So what this guy had done, you had written fact equal to 1. Okay, fact equal to 1 outside the function, and then you were using that fact equal to 1 inside the function. Okay, but wait. Show me your program again. Sorry, show me your wrong program again.
Yes.
Show me your program again. Are you sharing your
Yes.
screen?
Yes.
Okay.
So it is visible.
Okay, yeah, this should work. Wait. Fact equal to 1 should wait for alpha. Fact equal to fact variable fact factorial equal to factorial 10. Wait for each number 1 0 minus 1. First, your indentation is wrong. When you want to return the factorial, it should be the same indent as for loop.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, now it is correct. Can you run this program again? I don't understand what is wrong with this program. Can you run this again?
So then it's same error.
Yeah.
Same error.
That is what I'm trying to understand. It is saying that local variable fact reference before assignment. Fact equal to fact star I. Fact equal to 1. What is wrong with this? Can anybody else see the problem with this? Or does anybody else see the problem with this thing? Because I cannot understand what is the problem. Fact equal to 1. Can you define this fact equal to 1 inside this function?
Okay.
I don't think that should be a problem because I was just talking about global scopes. Can you just define it? Still define it. Can anybody else see the problem? Because I cannot see the problem for I in raised no 0 1 fact. Can you run this program again?
Yes, sir. Done. Oh yes.
But ये कैसे एक मिनट यार? I was just talking about global scopes. It should have worked. I don't know. Factorial number 1 fact 1.
Yes, sir. Done.
Yes, it is working, but global scope fact equal. Let me try this again. I'll share my screen. I'll write exactly what you had written. Interesting.
Sir, I can stop sharing.
Sorry?
Sir, I can stop sharing now.
Yeah. I already started my screen sharing. Okay, so what you had written is, so you any questions about scopes? Okay, let me write this first. Factorial number. I think we are manipulating factorial inside the function, and it did not sit well with the program. I think that can be a problem. Factorial is equal to fact. X plus
It is a
what the hell I'm doing? What the hell? For I in for range number 0 minus 1. Local fact variable reference to correlation. I think we are making changes to this. That's why it is not. Yeah, okay. Exactly. We were making changes to it. Yes. Yeah. So the everything I said about global scopes, it is correct. Do you have any questions about global scopes? What the problem here was, we are manipulating this factorial, and we have not defined this because the scope of everything that is happening here, it is inside this, and we were trying to change the value of factorial fact that was defined outside of the function, and that is not possible from inside the function. In C++, it is something called call by reference or call by value. I don't. Yeah, when we reference the variable. Yeah. So in this case, this will be done like this. Does anybody have any questions related to global scope or local scope? Was everybody able to write the function? Okay. Do you have any other questions? Like you said, how to write a factorial. Do you have any similar questions like this, or should I move to strings? Do you want me to write something else or show you something else? Maybe Fibonacci, or we can do Fibonacci later after I start lists, because I like to do Fibonacci with lists. Does anybody have any questions?
sir, palindrome number.
Yeah, we can do that, but maybe later, because that is more a part of algorithms, and I do not want to go to, because this is a basic workshop. I do not want to go into algorithms.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, some basic things which help us understand concepts, but yeah, I don't want to go into algorithms. But yeah, you should, after learning programming language, you should work with some algorithms. Okay, I'll start with strings then. Geeks for, can we use global keyword like this? Yeah, we can use the global keyword, but it is not usually recommended to use a global keyword. Like, yes, we can definitely, inside a function, we can say whatever the function is, whatever the function is, we can just say that we are using global int, and it will make changes to that variable. Sorry, not global x, and it will make changes to that global x, whatever changes here. Yeah, it would have worked in that case, I guess. Okay, let us see if it makes a difference. I think it will. Yeah, we can, but it's not recommended to use global like this. Let's see though. I think it should work. Yeah, it works in this case. So what this guy is saying, that we can use the global keyword to source the global variables. Okay, but this is not something that I would recommend, or people in generally don't recommend. What this global fact is saying, that we are using this, whatever changes are made here, they should be stored in this variable. But we should not do this, because you don't want to change the things that are in your main. Generally, you don't want to change the variables in your main function. So avoid using this global unless you have to. There are some cases definitely you will need to use this global thing, but yeah, generally you can avoid because it manipulates your variable in the main function. And yeah, it is good. Thank you again for reminding me of this global thing. Okay.
भाई इस एरर का मतलब क्या होगा? एक्सपेक्टेड एंड इंडेंटेड ब्लॉक.
दिखाना 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 अपना स्क्रीन शेयर करना. Let's show everybody. Share your screen if you can. Yeah, show me others because this way you will get to learn more. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you are writing the for loop. You are writing a for loop, and after the colon of for loop, it were it's it says that it expects a new block. It expects a new block. So you need to indent whatever is inside the for loop. Okay, so in this case, I am just calculating factorial using this iteration variable I. So whatever I need to do inside a for loop, it should be one indent from the for itself. In this case, the for loop is inside another function, so for is under one indent, and then whatever is inside for is under two indents. That is why I was saying that indentations are very important. Whenever you in C++, no, but in Python, yeah, they're very important. In for after for you have to indent the code so that it understands, okay, this thing is part of for. Even if I write something like this, print hi, this is also part of for loop. And if I go back and I write print hello, it is not part of.
भाई स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रही अब.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Let me share my screen. Okay. So what I was saying is that indentations are important whenever you are writing a for loop or a function. You can see when you defined a function here, and after defining function, you need to indent. You need to indent whatever is under this one indent. It is part of this function now. Okay. If I define another function right here, I need to go. I need to erase the indent and define second function here. Then whatever is here, it will be part of this function. But if I define it like this, so that function will be, this function will be defined inside of this function, and it does not make sense. So this indentation tells the interpreter, or okay, let's call it compiler, but it's not a compiler. So it tells the compiler whatever builds this program, okay, this is part of the same thing. That's why indentations are important. Okay, so if I want something to be part of this for loop, I can like say print hi. Okay, so this hi is under the indentation of this for loop. So this hi will be printed 10 times, like you see, hi. Okay, now if I have another print statement, but that is not under the same indentation of for loop, so it will not be under the for loop. So it will only print once. Hello got printed only once. So indentation is important like this. Okay. So you will need to indent. If you are writing a function, you need to indent and write all the code of that function. These can be even, this should not be even a single indent. This can be 4 indents. But make sure whatever indentation you are following, keep it for everything. Like for every line, I have kept the same 4 indents. And you can keep 2 more indents here. Does not matter. But whatever is inside the for loop, it should be under the same indentation. It will work. It will work perfectly. The same result, exactly the same result. Okay.
जी भाई.
So this is how Python knows that how which code is part of which function, because there are no brackets here. Everything is defined using indentations. Okay. So now we'll come to strings. Does somebody else have any questions? Repeated steps are the breaking out of a loop. Okay, I forgot again. Where do we have to do while loops? While loops. Okay, so while in Python is just while. We write while, very intuitive. While something is true, print hello. Okay, so this will keep on printing because this is an infinite loop. This will keep on printing till the end of the timer, till I print the machine, till I tell it to do something, or we can use break. It will, yeah, now I need to restart the kernel. So by using break, I will say, okay, break after print hello and then break. Okay, so this is the basic syntax of for loop, while loop. We'll be doing something more. Now we'll do run the while loop 10 times. Okay, we want to write the run the while loop 10 times. Okay, so there are two ways of doing this. Okay, first what we'll do is we'll count how many times we have run this variable. We use the iteration variable I. We can call it even itr, whatever you guys like, and we want to run this loop 10 times. Okay, and let us just print it. Okay, let's print hello 10 times. So there are two ways of doing this. We'll do the first one. First one is, and we'll need to, every time we finish a loop will start here and end here. Every time we finish a loop, we will increase the number of iteration. We'll add one. Pehle 0 iterations thi, then there will be 1 iteration, then 2 iteration. This is how we keep the track of number of iterations. And now, if we can write if itr greater than 10. Okay, if itr is greater than 10, break the loop. So this is one way of doing this. We'll run this loop 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What the hell? So this will go here for sure. So the placement of this also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although I think it's still 11. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it should be 11 because ITR should be, because we are going from 1 to 10. Yeah, it will be 11. Okay, we are now, it will be printed for 10 times. So this is how, using while loops, we can run the loop for 10 times. Another way that we can run the while loop is while, we'll write again itr equal to 1, and we can have while itr are less than 11. Okay, let's say 0, are less than 10. We want to run the loop for 10 times. We can write print hello, and then itr plus equals to itr plus 1. Okay, so every time the loop runs, the value of itr will increase, and once it is 10. Okay, so how the while loop works is, we have started the while loop. It starts here. Okay, the while loop starts here. We are printing hello, and then value of iteration goes from 0 to 1, and when it goes from 0 to 1, it comes back here and sees, okay, is the condition still valid? Right now it is 1. 1 is less than 10, so it is true. Like here we have written directly true, so it is true, and then it goes up to 10. When this returns 11, or in this case it returns, it value of itr becomes 10, it goes here and say, okay, this condition is not true anymore, we need to stop the loop. I can even write here to visualize while loop stopped. Okay, so it runs for 10 times. You can even print the itr to see if it runs. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. That means it is running 10 times and then it is stopping. Does anybody have any questions related to while loops? I will stop today with while loops.
सेकेंड वे में सर वाइल लूप भी डू वाइल लूप की तरह एक्ट कर रहा है ना, जैसे हम लोग सी प्लस प्लस में डू वाइल यूज करते हैं।
डू वाइल की तरह एक्ट कर सकता होगा, एक मिनट के लिए देख लेगा।
तो वही तो हो रहा है लगभग, वाइल इटरेशन स्टेटमेंट के बाद आ रहा है शायद।
हाँ, कह सकते हो तुम, या that's why I initially said कि there is not a do while loop separately, but yes, you can achieve those things. You can even achieve switch statement with if else.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, you can think of it as do while. Don't put so much effort that मतलब इतना, you don't need to think of it as separately, but yes, you can think that it is doing the same thing. But yeah, there is no, you cannot write do while like in C++ or any other language. This will generate a do while. There is no do while. Okay. Does anybody have any questions related to while loops? Okay. So you have to write a function now. Right. Well, okay. Do this. Write a. You have to find out the factorial, but not using for loop, by using while loop. Do this. This will be the last thing for today. Tomorrow we will start with strings and data structures, rest of the data structures. But yeah, for now do this. Write a function that evaluates factorial using while loop. If you have any questions, you can ask. You can PM, you can DM, you can do anything. You can share your screen. Does anybody have any questions? You can do this at, or we can discuss it tomorrow. I will not show it today. If you guys want to leave, somebody is tired and wants to leave, yeah, you should. You can now. I will not be teaching anything more today.